Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll just wait a few more minutes for everyone to be able to join. Okay, I think we'll get started now then, and then anyone can join and pick up from where we started. So yeah, just to introduce myself, my name is James Roscoe. I work for Ricardo, and this session is the second breakfast session to which we invite all of you to network, and we'll be able to listen to Thijs's presentation from the BioZon energy community in the Netherlands, and hopefully to learn some very interesting insights that could be applied to your energy community or organization. So yeah, firstly, I'd just like to express that we would like to record this session. This will be used for internal purposes, so we might use for a summary note, and also we'd like to share on the website so that anyone who couldn't join today can access the recording. So if anyone wouldn't like this to be recorded, please put a message in the chat or say something now. And then my second point would be to express the agenda, and this will follow from a 15-minute presentation from Thijs, and then you will have the opportunity to ask questions to which Thijs will respond, and we'll have that Q&A for the rest of the session. So yeah, I hope you really enjoy the presentation as much as I'm looking forward to it, and we'll have a good session today. Thank you.
Yes, this is the moment where I can start, James.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for the invitation to present you something at this breakfast session number 2. I have a little bit of a cold, so I hope my voice I will be understood well to you, and otherwise just tell it to me and I'll try to do my best. Let me first share the screen with you. One moment. So today I'm going to present you something about energy at cost price. BioZon is a local energy community in the Netherlands. And we say energy at cost price means that the energy that flows through your socket won't hit you in the pocket because you determine the cost price yourselves within your local energy community. And we are the first ones who did this in the Netherlands for local households. So I'll explain you everything about this pilot. First of all, I'm going to start the screen sharing again, since I've got a video for you. It's 2 minutes and I need to share it with sound, and then you can't hear me anymore. So for 2 minutes, I'll be quiet and I'll share the screen again with you so you can listen to the video.
As a consumer, you have no control over energy prices. More and more businesses and households can no longer pay their energy bills. This is because the market price for all types of energy is affected by what is happening in the world. Even though it may cost less to generate electricity from renewable sources, such as wind and solar, than from fossil fuels, you still have to pay the same high price for all types of electricity. As a result, energy producers and suppliers are making huge profits. We can and must take a different approach to energy. By working together to generate our own renewable energy, we can create a local energy community. This enables us to determine our own energy prices and make us less dependent on market fluctuations and the market price. The energy experts at Agem will take care of this for you. We created the non-profit cooperative Streek Energie as a local energy community to make electricity available at a fair price. If your local energy community needs more electricity than it can generate on its own, we need to purchase additional electricity. We prefer to purchase it from another local energy community that also provides electricity at a fair cost price. If they don't have enough either, and only if there really is no other way, we purchase the extra electricity on the market at the market price. By working together in this way, we can create affordable energy security. and also reduce the Achterhoek region's dependence on the energy market.
So if I'm right, you can hear me again. I'll share the screen again with you and go back to the presentation. I hope the video was loud enough for everyone to follow it. Well, actually, in 2 minutes, we explained already what we are doing in the Netherlands, but I'll go deeper in that to the pilot of BioZon. BioZon is in English, it's biosolar. You can say it like that. And what I'm going to tell you about is the origin of the cost price pilot, some overview of the energy flows that are in the local energy community, an overview of the organization, how did we do it, first results, maybe the most interesting, and also the first results compared to solar and wind, since we are now doing a pilot with a landfill gas installation, which is quite different than solar and wind. It always is turning the motor, and some basic principles and dilemmas. The origin of the cost price pilot BioZon, it started all in 2019, actually in 2017 already with the initiative. When in 2019, the Coöperation, the energy corporation BioZon, was able to start the project and buy a landfill gas installation, which is some sort of a motor that burns the gas that's coming out of the old landfill. And the gas, when it's burned, we don't have the methane, we have CO2, which is less polluting than methane. And we have a byproduct, which is electricity. And in the Netherlands, the government sees this electricity as renewable energy. But the corporation only could start the project when they were sure that they get a fixed price for the energy they are producing of 55 euros a megawatt hour in 2019. This was, at that time, the cost price they calculated, which they need for about 6 years to be sure that they could pay for insurance, maintenance, etc. of the motor. Well, in the end, there wasn't any energy supplier in the Netherlands or Europe or whatever who wanted to give the fixed price, since market prices at that time were about 45 euros a megawatt hour. So who would like to pay 55 euros? Well, I work for the Agem Energy experts, and we were created by the local municipalities in 2013 already, 10 years ago. And the local municipalities also started their own energy supply company, and they are supplying energy to themselves, buying directly from the energy market. And already 5 years ago, they started, and they saw an opportunity to supply the energy of a local installation of the energy community of BioZon to themselves. And if we could supply them 3 million kilowatt hours, so there was a volume in the agreement, for 55 euros a megawatt hour, they could help a local project to start and to have 60 people out of the region, 60 households involved in this project. So that's very worthwhile for the local governments. And the landfill is bubbling better than expected. In about 3 years, we already supplied 2.2 million kilowatt hours. So the volume in the agreement, it will be reached in about, when we supply all of it, we will reach it about this year or next year, but I'll come back to that. Since then, last year, we all know, since the situation in the world, which was quite, it was not good, of course, the war in Ukraine, energy prices raised to levels we didn't see before. And the members of this local energy community, energy cooperative BioZon, they were paying high market prices to their energy suppliers. They have different suppliers, but they sell their own energy to the municipalities at the cost price of 55 euros a megawatt hours. And you can see the red line, that's how the market price was developing itself, and the green line is the cost price we determined ourselves. Well, members were asking the board of the corporation to explain and take responsibility. Why are we paying 10 times as much as at our homes, at our bills, than we receive for the energy we produce ourselves? Why are we giving it away to the municipalities? In 2019, they were very happy with the municipalities to help them and pay more than market price. But last year it was, of course, different. Well, and we saw some opportunities, since we have already 5 years of experience with self-supply. We call it the self-supply against cost price via AGE, BV. That's the company of the municipalities I told you about, the energy company, supplying company. And we participate in national and international programs. We have reliable and experienced partners. So this must and can be done differently. We should do something about this. And I already told you about the volume that was mentioned in the agreement of 3 million kilowatt hours, which we almost reached already. And if you know that the green motor, the groene motor, we call it in the Netherlands, so the landfill gas installation is producing about 500, 600 megawatt hours a year. In the next 3 years, we have to supply about 300 megawatt hours to the municipalities to reach the volume. And we have another 200, 300 megawatt hours that we can share with, for example, the members at cost price, of course. So this is where the idea started, and this is where we started thinking, okay, what would that mean and what would be possible? And we calculated, we made some simulations, and at the bottom you see the big green arrow, 84%, which stands for the percentage of the time that the production of the green motor, the landfill gas installation, is enough to supply the consumers that are consuming at the same time. And at the same time means within the same quarter, 15 minutes. That's how the energy market works. Only for 16% we would be dependent of the energy market, which is the dark cloud above us. We want to be as independent as possible from this energy market. So those were some calculations and simulations, and I'll come back later on the results in practice. But first of all, how did we organize this? With what kind of organizations and roles? Now, first of all, what you need, and that's what you all, of course, know, is a renewable energy community, a local renewable energy community, which exists out of members, production installation or multiple production installations, which is owned by the members or by local community municipalities, for example, but not by commercial instances. At least in the Netherlands, it's not possible if you do it with a commercial developer, for example, or supplier. So you need the local energy community, and then you need some kind of energy service provider who makes it possible to share the energy you produce yourself to your house. And also when there's not enough energy, when you don't produce enough to foresee yourselves in the consumption at the same moment, you have to buy it from the energy market. And therefore you need a forecasting company which forecasts what happens every quarter. So every 15 minutes, how many production is there, how many consumption is there, how is this matching, and how many do we need to buy from the energy market, or how much do we need to sell at the energy market when we produce too much. And then you have the balance responsible party, which is responsible, of course, for what happens every quarter. And we need a supplier, and in the Netherlands you need a permit to supply to households. And since we don't have it ourselves, we are just the energy cooperative, the Agem Energy experts from the region Achterhoek, the region you saw in the video at the last seconds. And BioZon is even more local, in just a small village within our region. So we need an energy supplier which is a little bit bigger, and energie van ons, energy from us, translated to English. That's the cooperative energy supplier in the Netherlands who foresees the energy supply to consumers in the north and the eastern of the Netherlands. So that's what you need to organize the cost price pilot. Let's move on to the first results. Well, in the first 3 weeks, and I'll keep it to the first 3 weeks, it has been a long time ago, but that is because after those 3 weeks, the motor has been in maintenance. After some couple of weeks, the motor had some errors. So the first 3 weeks, I have the complete data. So that's the most interesting data to see at this moment. There is coming some more soon. So in the first 3 weeks, the net usage of the members of the cooperative that were participating, which were 15 in the beginning and now 30 of the 60 members that are participating, was 4,512 kilowatt hours. And the simultaneous consumption and production was 4,500. So the energy we could supply from the green motor, the landfill gas installation, directly to the people at home. So this is almost a 100% of simultaneously, not the 84 we expected, but that is since not all the 60 members were participating. So almost 100% was supplied at cost price, of course, 55 euros a megawatt hour, 5.5 cents kilowatt hour. And only 12 we had to buy from the energy market, the EPEX, for 13.6 cents. So in the end, they pay what we call a kind of hybrid energy tariff, which is part a fixed tariff, which is your own cost price you determine yourselves, and it's a variable tariff which is dependent on market prices. So in the end, the hybrid energy tariff was 5.52 cents a kilowatt hour. We need some margin, of course, to do this all, to make it possible to organize. I show you the parties that are helping us in that, and that's 2.75 cents. So in the end, the people pay 8.27 cents. Then we have some sort of green certificates, GVO, and we have energy taxes in the Netherlands that are quite high at this moment. It's 12.6 cents excluding taxes, and when you include taxes on energy tax, then you will have 15.25 cents. So in the end, the people paid 25.8 cents at their homes. But since the beginning of this year, there is an energy cap of 40 cents in the Netherlands. So we were the first supplier in the Netherlands from the 1st of January who was underneath that price cap of 40 cents. We keep some KPIs, we monitor them, and the simultaneous energy consumption is one of the most important. But again, this was only with 15 members. I can show you in this graph. You see the black line with the green, the most beautiful green color underneath it. You can see the normal like profile of a household. It's the morning, they go to work, they come home, and they go sleep. To work, they come home, they cook, they wash, and go sleep. That's a normal household profile in the Netherlands. It is changing because of a lot of solar panels and heat pumps, etc. And what you see in the end is that it was 15 members that were participating. Later on, we went up to 24, and now we are 30. So the 100%, which is underneath this line, when we stay underneath this line, and it will not be reached when more members, of course, are participating. So we will grow towards the 84% of simultaneous usage. This is quite luxury, this energy profile from the production, which is 20 kilowatt hours every quarter. 10 kilowatt hours, the light green color, goes to the municipalities, and 10 goes to the members of the corporation. And when it's not used here, we sell it at the energy market, and it's income for the corporation. You see the white stripe. This is where the motor was unfortunately shut down for some hours, and we had to buy the 12 kilowatt hours at the energy market. But it's quite luxury, since if you compare it to solar or wind, solar will only work when the sun shines, and the wind, of course, only when the wind is blowing. So we also have some solar parks in our portfolio, and we took one in the first 3 weeks of January, took the same part of 200,000 kilowatt hours a year, put the profile on it, and then you see that the green surfaces underneath the black line are a lot less than in the last slide I've shown to you. And the simultaneous consumption is about 17.7, say 18% in the first 3 weeks of January. In the summer, of course, it will be 30, 40, maybe even 50% some days. But during the winter times, it's only 17, 18%. And so we could only supply ourselves 959 kilowatt hours, and we have to buy about 4,500 kilowatt hours at the energy market, which was against 13 cents. We all simulated this against real data, of course. In the end, it's not 25 cents what they would have paid, but 33 cents. So simultaneously has to do something about with your dependency on the market, of course. Yeah, this is the black line, of course, the profile of the household, and the hours between 8 and 16:30 that you can supply yourself from a little bit of solar energy within the winter days in the Netherlands. Well, if we compare to wind, I don't know who has been to the Netherlands already, but if you are here on winter days, a lot of times the wind is blowing. So we have a lot of wind energy that we can take from the sky in the winter days, and this is quite simultaneous to the BioZon installation, the landfill gas. We can reach about 80% of simultaneously. And if more members are participating, it will, of course, reduce a little bit to 60%, which is 60-70% maximum. What's quite interesting, about 4,300 kilowatt hours were supplied simultaneously, but we have still another 1,100 kilowatt hours to buy from the energy market. And during the hours the wind isn't blowing, of course, the sun isn't always shining in the winter, so the prices are a little bit higher. The last slide, it was 13 cents, and here is 16.4 cents that we would pay for the amount that we still need from the energy market. So if you compare it to wind, you can see you can supply yourself a lot more during the day and night, of course, from your own energy at cost price. Well, we have some dilemmas that we are investigating during this pilot, which will the duration of the pilot is the whole year of 2023. And that's how do we decide about a maximum of participants or consumers when we do this again and again and again, or within multiple energy communities, or are we going to make one big regional energy community and share energy among communities? And do we base it on annual consumption of someone who's participating or simultaneous consumption? Those are some questions we need to investigate. And of course, what do we do with solar energy back supply? 2 million households in the Netherlands already have solar panels on the roof, and there are a lot of problems with back supply, and we have a lot of negative energy prices at the moment during sunny days. What are we going to do with that? What are we going to pay them when they back supply the solar energy to the grid? And what if the market prices are going below cost prices? Okay, 5.5 cents right at this time, it's still lower than market prices if you have it as a cost price, but market prices are more stable, getting more stable. And are people going away to another energy supplier and move to what's cheaper? Or are they willing to have a cost price for 20, 25 years, which is certain? Well, that's a question, and maybe the most exciting question we have. Most of the renewable energy production sites in the Netherlands have commercial owners, commercial developers, for example. Local ownership, for example, a renewable energy community, is required for energy supplied cost price. So something should happen at this local ownership. Otherwise, it won't be possible to supply energy at cost price. Commercial owners just want most benefit for the shareholders, etc. Can we optimize simultaneity of production and consumption? Okay, we now have, I've shown you the pilot with the landfill gas installation, which is quite stable, 20 kilowatt hours every quarter when it's working. But what if there are not enough landfills in the Netherlands, let's say in Europe, to provide us ourselves from stable energy? No, of course not. So we should build on a portfolio of solar and wind based on our own portfolio of consumption. Well, we have to investigate. And what if production is in maintenance or broken? We have experienced it during the BioZon pilot. Well, you're getting 100% market price dependent when you don't have a bigger portfolio. So it's actually following from the last dilemma. And how can people, and this is the most important one, I think, how can people with small pockets of wallets participate without an investment? Do we need some sort of social tariff? Do the local governments play a role in it? This is, for example, why we take part of the LIFE program of Europe. So this is maybe the most important. These people need it the most to have some certainty for the coming years and not being dependent on the energy market, which will rise again when something happens in the world. This was my presentation. If there are any questions, I'll hear them in about a minute, I guess. I'd like to answer them. Thank you for your attention, and I'll now stop sharing the screen so we can see each other again.
Thank you, Thijs. That was a very interesting presentation. So yeah, now we'll be opening the floor to questions. So you can either send your questions on the chat or go ahead and raise your hand. And then when you do so, please give your name and your organization so that we better understand who's in this call to network purpose. So yeah, if anyone would like to ask some questions, Thijs, now is the opportunity.
I think the presentation was quite clear.
Yeah. I'll go first then. How important do you say that the municipality is for setting up an energy community and also the operation? Because you noted that the initial project itself was from the municipality, and how important are they in terms of replicating for other projects?
Yeah, they are very important in the start of a renewable energy community, since most of the time it's people that are just working for nothing and doing it for the best for their neighborhood, and they need some sources, money of course, to start the energy community. This is where a municipality can help, but also I see a very important role in organizing energy communities for the people I mentioned at last, who are not able to invest in local renewable energy communities and become an owner because of an investment. So this is where the municipalities can take a huge role, become owner themselves. Actually, we go back about 40 years when in the Netherlands, the municipalities or the provinces, they were themselves, they were owner of the energy suppliers companies. So actually we go a little bit back to that time, and they just calculate the cost price, and we have certainty for the coming 10, 20, 25 years. So that's the most important, I guess.
Thanks. Would anyone else like to ask some questions?
It's being very quiet.
So I'd like to ask another question in terms of, do you have any cooperation and communication with other energy communities in the area? And do you potentially learn best practices from these energy communities, or provide information and best practices to newer energy communities looking for advice?
Yeah, as you've seen the region we are organized in the video, in the right of the Netherlands against the border of Germany, that's our region. And we are the regional energy cooperative that was been started by the help of the municipalities in 2013. We organized ourselves in a way that the local energy communities, cooperatives, they are being member of our regional cooperative. And once every 3 months, every quarter, we organize an energy cafe, we call it, a restaurant or cafe. And we are just sharing knowledge with each other and best practices. And we also have some sort of a project organization within our cooperative, which is able to help local cooperatives to develop renewable energy projects. We ourselves are cooperating with the Energy From Us energy supplier, and we are being an energy supplier ourselves, together with the community of, at this time, 16 cooperatives in our region. And we'll grow this year, I guess, to 20. And in the coming years, there will be a lot more local energy communities. And as I said, we also do it already 5 years for the municipalities, the energy sharing and self-supply. And we are now investigating a new cooperative with businesses, and to give businesses their own energy supplier, like the municipalities also did, and to share energy at cost price and build smart energy hubs and etc. And in the end, we hope that the households, the municipalities, and the businesses are just sharing amongst each other. When someone has too much production and the other one has little less, then they can share, of course, the energy. And when we don't have enough in our region, we have some very good contacts with the northern of the Netherlands and in Zealand, so we can share energy throughout the whole of the Netherlands, and maybe in the future also we are living at the border with Germany, Germany or Belgium.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We have a question. Otherwise, I have a question, if I may.
You go first. Yeah.
Huh?
You go first, and then we'll get Javier's question.
So, yeah, thank you for your presentation. I'm Eugenia. I'm the project manager of the Rural Energy Community Advisory Hub. I just wanted to ask you, you have obviously described a lot about energy productions and sharing and consumptions of energy. Do you have any other activities more on energy efficiency or mobility or anything else that the community does in addition to energy production?
Okay, thank you for the question. Within our total energy community, so the Agem energy experts, we have, of course, something about energy efficiency, reducing energy. We call it the energy loket in the Netherlands. It's some sort of energy store which people can just walk in and get some information, or we have a website. So that's the first of all, you need to decrease your demand, of course, trias energetics, and then you need to produce your own energy. That's what I told you a lot about. That is also our project company within our energy cooperative that's helping local cooperatives to develop new projects. And in the end, we have the supply company. So we have all the 3 phases in the energy transition within our energy community in our region. So yes, there is more, but in 50 minutes, I have to focus on the pilot.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have a question from Javier from KM Zero Energy. And he asked, knowing that the number of partners will increase in the future, do you plan to also increase the power generation, including storage is also an option?
Yeah.
Is that contemplated? And then as a local energy community, are you working in demand flexibility?
Yeah. In fact, we were the first one with some sort of pilot I just told you about. But last year, we've started a national project with the national platform for, or the stakeholder organization for all 600 energy cooperatives in the Netherlands, which is Energie Samen, energy together in English, but it's Energie Samen in Dutch. And we are working on a national project, not only with our own supplier, Energy From Us. You also have together OM. You have 2 cooperative energy suppliers in the Netherlands, and we all working together right now to make cost price available for everyone. Local for local, we call this project. So, and in this project, of course, we are looking at, okay, the portfolio, increase power generation, increase members that want to get the power supplied to themselves, including, of course, the storage, because storage in our portfolio would be beautiful, since we can do more with solar energy. During the days, we have a lot of overcapacity with solar energy. So just put it in a battery and we can use it in the night when the wind isn't blowing. So of course, also storage is included. We have a huge scope in it. And as local, are you working in demand flex? Yeah, also flexibility, of course, also very important. So all factors within the energy transition are within the local for local project.
Does anyone else have any questions? I have some more, but I'll wait to see if anyone else wants to.
Yes, hi. Guys, I think we've already met. I'm from Icarus, also in the RECAH team. So I'd be quite interested. You were talking about how to deal with vulnerable consumers and the options of how to include them. Do you have any concrete ideas, or is this just a challenge?
It's a challenge, but we have some concrete ideas, initiatives. There's one municipality in our region that's planning. They are just hesitating, doubting a lot, because it's quite, municipalities actually don't want to play a role in the development of the renewable energy projects. They are afraid of people that are getting mad with them if they build wind turbines, for example. But there is a movement, and there's one municipality who dares at this moment to take initiative in a wind project, and they speak to us and they say, Agem Energy experts, can you provide the energy that we produce with our local owned wind turbines at cost price that we determine to the people in our municipality that need it the most, the vulnerable people, but also the other people that want to make profit from it, or profit, they want to have certainty. So that's quite great, actually, that this is happening.
Thanks, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks. Does anyone else have a next question to ask? So I would like to ask, what would you say as a piece of advice for prospecting energy communities looking to start an initiative, but not really sure in which direction to go? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, that's a good one. But most of the times it's not an energy initiative or local energy community which is starting. It's not a professional organization. So make sure you have some professionals around you that are not focused on making profit, but they're really focused on helping your energy community to share the energy amongst each other at a fair cost price you determine yourselves. And of course, one of those organizations is, I think, your local municipality or local government. And some other organization might be a regional cooperative like us. I don't know if everyone has it in the countries, but another energy cooperative that's already some kind of bigger in your country, ask them for help. That's what I would say to them. And of course, there's a lot of resistance against wind turbines in the Netherlands, for example. So keep focus on the story that, okay, if we don't do it ourselves, some commercial developers will do it, since Europe will come with huge challenges for the coming years to reach the Green Deal, etc. What's happening. So the wind turbines and the solar parks, they are coming, but we now have the opportunity to do it ourselves. The power to the people, if you would like to say it like that. So it's a huge opportunity, and tell that story and make people enthusiastic about it. It's our own energy. Okay, the wind turbine might be not so beautiful in our environment, and you can see it from a distance. Okay, that's okay. And also a solar park, you drive next to it, is not the most beautiful piece of land, but if you can think, okay, here's my energy coming from, and I pay 10 cents or 5 cents or 7 cents for 20, 25 years, and I have a lot of certainty, and I'm not dependent on what Putin does or whatever, whoever, what does in the world, and what happens with the climate, since also the climate influences the energy prices. So yeah, that's the story you should tell, I guess. And then you are maybe making more people enthusiastic and help you. And the more people you get involved, the better probability of succession you will have.
And just a follow-up question on that. How do you engage members, and how in which do you attract new members? So existing engagement with the current members, but also outreach to get new members.
Yeah, of course, a lot happens through email, but in our region, we know each other very well. So we have some close contacts. People know each other from everywhere. So mouth to mouth is also very important. Just talking with each other about it. Local newspapers still work, and of course social media. But still, we are a local energy cooperative, local energy community that doesn't have such a huge marketing budget. So we're really looking at what we can do, but we don't have that much a marketing budget. So you have to do it like how it works in our region, and that's through the local newspapers, and just talk about it, organize the energy cafes for our the real local communities, and they again communicate to their members in the local villages. So that's how we work, actually.
Very interesting, thank you. Would anyone else like to ask a question to Thijs? So I'll give another question, but I'll make this one of my last ones. So what are your future plans and ambitions? And yeah, which direction do you see yourself going in the near and medium term future?
And then you're talking about me as person, or just the community? I think you mean the community.
Yes, the community.
The community. Well, I hope this is a good example, and I already experienced it as a very good example, since everyone I tell it in the Netherlands, they are getting enthusiastic about it, and they say, oh, we're going to do the same thing. And that's good, since I hope the local for local project, the national program I told you about, it will become a success. And it's the duration of that program is until 2025. So I hope in 2025 about 100,000 households in the Netherlands already have energy at a fair cost price. It's quite an ambition, I guess, but but I hope this is possible, and we're just going for it.
Yeah,
it's the moment is here. The people can take the power. If we tell it to them, they can become less dependent of Putin, for example. Yeah, that's what people want. So it's just going to happen.
Great. And then we've had another question come in from Javier. So in the video, there is a part that talks about sharing energy with other communities. Is this something that can be aborted right now?
Yeah, it's already it's able. We're able to do it, but we are not doing it. Yeah, another party in the Netherlands maybe is doing it, but that's energy communities from municipalities. They are sharing it with each other, but not throughout households. So we need to make it able to share energy between energy community of households, businesses, municipalities, everyone. We need to build some sort of platform that only energy communities can take place in. A platform that has entrance to the energy market. And the current platform, it is called Entrance, but that we use it from the local grid operator. But it is possible, and in some places in the lands it is happening, but it's between municipalities and not all energy communities right now. But since the Netherlands, we have a lot of sea, of course, at the west of the Netherlands, the west side, and in the eastern, at our place, the wind is blowing a lot less. So we would like to cooperate with an energy community from Zealand, for example. They have a lot of wind. So this will be happening, and this is also part of the local for local program that we are running right now.
Great, thank you. Is there any more questions from the audience? Thijs, I don't know if you would like to share anything else regarding your activities in the energy community, or any advice or information that you think would be relevant at this moment in time?
I think I've said it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if no one else has any more questions, I think we can close the session for today. So yeah, thank you everyone for your participation. The video will be uploaded to our website, and you can watch it back there. And you can also find last week's breakfast session as well on the website. So we all invite you to sign up for next week's session, and also have a really great day and rest of the week. So yeah, thank you again for Thijs and your participation.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invitation. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Bye.
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 Bye.